All right, so, sir, hello, sir. Thank you for joining me today. I appreciate it. What is your name?
My name is Joseph Ross.
And I actually was attracted to your booth, and I asked my associates to go down and bring you up here because I've heard a lot about this with chemtrails, HAARP, and this is a book I'm looking at here. Is this your book, sir?
Yes, that's a book that is sponsored by our organization. It's one of the many books on chemtrails now. Not as many as there should be. An incredible source, of course, is our site, which is losangelesskywatch.org. That's one word, or you can Google it separate words, Los Angeles Skywatch, SKYWATCH.org, and that will hook you up to a lot. But the internet is full of information. Another really great video to see is what in the world are they spraying, and there's a companion one, why in the world are they spraying? Because what is happening is that for the last 10, 20 years, some people say longer, we have had a program of our skies being sprayed by chemtrails. These are not contrails, despite what the trolls tend to say, or debunkers, or the official obfuscators of the New World Order, or the government, or whatever, the military. Across the sky, on many days, you can see these long white plumes, which are much longer than contrails, which are condensation trails that occur at a higher altitude in a very short period of time, which are released from jets from their exhaust. This is actually intentional spraying. You can find photos of these airplanes spraying the air from canisters that have been shown by many scientists all over the world to contain barium, aluminum oxide, mycoplasmas. Now there's even a higher incidence apparently of lead and mercury in our environment due to these chemtrails. The EPA, which I've contacted, tends to deny them. They tend to say it's contrails, but it's bogus. It's actually chemtrails. And so there's growing evidence that this is a pattern of geoengineering conducted by the military arm of the government, but possibly controlled by secret forces which are related to what we call the New World Order. But in any event, they are polluting our environment big time, and they're all over the planet. You can see them regularly in Los Angeles, but everywhere.
I remember as a child seeing, I remember all the way back to childhood seeing this, to be honest with you. And I actually had the thought as a child, I wondered what it was. I mean, I always wondered what it was. It looked conspicuous, and it seemed to stay around longer than smoke should stay around.
Yes,
right? It stays around a long time.
Yeah.
So what do you think the desire is to pollute our environment? I mean, what is the intention there?
There seems to be multiple intentions. One is weather modification, which can be used in warfare. Another may be psychological modification. The weather modification apparently is behind our drought in California. Yes, because and also the New World Order tends to bash California and Silicon Valley. But in any event, what's apparently happening is the cool air is being denied California, and it's coming down into the Midwest, so you have record blizzards and tornadoes. A lot of this is also related to HAARP, HAARP, which is a facility that started out in Alaska with military technology, and now apparently there are HAARP facilities all over the planet. So additional motivation on this is possibly psychological control. There is possibly a strong ability for chemtrails and similar technologies to depress people, to make people obedient sheep. I know this sounds like crazy, quote, conspiracy theories, but this is, all these are supported by massive amounts of evidence, which the establishment is in complete and ridiculous denial of. They say that these are contrails. They say that they're not spraying them, but they're considering spraying them. Meanwhile, there is legislation pending to legalize this practice, which is also terraforming.
On what grounds legalize the practice? That they want to change the planet's weather? Or?
Yeah. Some of the excuses that have been offered is they say that this is a way to protect us from global warming. We actually believe this is the cause of global warming. aluminum particles in the air, which causes Alzheimer's and is very toxic, is going to protect us from global warming. It actually may create a greenhouse effect, these chemtrails. Yeah, also they say another excuse is that it is military technology necessary to protect us from China or other countries using this kind of military technology on us, which once again we feel is totally bogus. The cure is much worse than the disease. Once again, we suspect from our observations that global warming is caused by chemtrails. It is not solved by chemtrails.
Interesting, and that might be why the powers that be are so quick to confidently say it's not due to fossil fuels, because they know it's due to what they're doing. It's a little easy to hold that. It's not a lie. They know it's where it's coming. One thing I've noticed personally is it seems to be some sort of a desire to lower population rates. So I'm definitely, yeah.
Mentioned yet. Many people have long conjectured this is part of what they call the Great Culling, which is, goes with the, the Georgia Guidestones, saying that they want to reduce population to 500 million worldwide, which is mostly the New World Order and their slaves, basically. And, so this is also related to GMOs, which are very toxic, and to Fukushima radiation with plutonium that is curdling the planet right now. And they are hushing up the radiation exposure, which is criminal and genocidal, and as well as other factors like vaccines with mercury in them. So apparently there is a pattern, fluoride in the water, a pattern of reducing the population through genocidal technology, and chemtrails may very well be a major part of that.
Well, not to be a fearmonger, but I see a lot of evidence. For one, women in my generation have a hard time getting pregnant all of a sudden. That was never a problem. We always worried about getting women pregnant. Women get pregnant too easily. People have too many kids. In our generation, it's a problem. Fertility is a problem. Another interesting thing, erectile dysfunction. When the hell have men had problems with erectile dysfunction? I don't know any literature in past lives of Socrates talking about losing his boner. No man lost his erectile. The fact that we're losing our erections and need medicine now, to me, is suspicious also of something in our environment trying to cool off, our procreation. It's just little things that are pretty clear that we didn't have earlier.
Yes, and it's also predicted that this generation will live not as long as their parents' generation, the first generation in history. And so the pollution, number one, is a major problem, but these chemtrails that pervade our atmosphere are criminal. Now, what can we do about this? Number one, tell everybody you know, and go online and become knowledgeable about these things so you can spread the information. What brought down the Berlin Wall was the people, not the government. So the people have to rally behind protecting themselves and the future of their children. This is a great opportunity for us to do good for everybody on the planet through raising consciousness regarding chemtrails and other issues. Chemtrail is a very important issue because it affects all of us equally. Some people ask, well, why would these people be spraying chemtrails when it affects their own families as well? And, so that's a question that has not been thoroughly answered. But why did they have 2,000 atomic explosions in Nevada when the radiation would affect the whole planet? There's a certain agenda here that does not seem to be sane. And, all this warfare and the New World Order and 9/11 and all these things are all connected in the opinion of many people involved in this. But LA Skywatch is not really focused on that. We're focused on eradicating or eliminating chemtrails, and at the very least, let's talk about this. Why is this going on without public consent? This is criminal.
Absolutely. Now, has there been any effort to where these planes take off or trying to organize or, lay across a runway? Has there been any, where are these planes taking off and landing from?
Well, there are one major. What is the name of the base in Ohio? I know there's one major base. I forget the name of it. But these are generally military installations. Although the planes are actually privately identified, not as military, but with a circle with a slash through it. which is an interesting kind of arcane symbol too, the symbol of Lilith, by the way. But so these airplanes are funded by a black operations budget. Right the day before 9/11, Donald Rumsfeld admitted in a conference that they had lost, $3 trillion in the military budget? Where did this go? So you see, there is so much skullduggery going on, and our whole country is being brought down, in my opinion, by the New World Order. That's a whole other story. This is one issue that can rally all people together, and so far there has not been protest demonstrations at these sites. Now there's apparently offshore sites, which are totally inaccessible to people, where they are also creating this not just with airplanes, but with some kind of mechanical furnace kind of device that injects this into the atmosphere, so you have a gray sky rather than lines, which are the identifying, So apparently they are very intent upon doing this constantly. We believe it is in order to increase their control of weather, military control, and quite possibly, once again, to reduce the population of the planet.
I think it's horrible, and I think we need to do something about it. To be honest with you, one thing that just comes to mind is just that the incredible. Everyone has a cell phone. Everyone has a cell phone with cameras now. I mean, maybe we should be taking pictures and posting. Just really, just everyone being witness and just and letting them sweat a little bit. In regards to poisoning their own people, I've heard a lot of stuff about Costa Rica and winds, this idea that the winds south of the equator are going to be safe. So I hear a lot of, black ops and families and money moving south into Panama, moving into South America, where they believe.
The Bushes have a compound, as you know, and I believe it's Uruguay.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, they've been moving down there.
So it seems like, the powers that be are moving their families out of the zones, is my point.
Well, that could very well be true. And they may also anticipate, why are they building these concentration camps all across America?
That's another thing that keeps coming up.
Why 2 billion rounds of hollow point ammunition? Why have they been importing UN Russian forces, soldiers on our soil, which is a direct violation of our Constitution? Why did Obama repeal habeas corpus, so he now has the executive privilege of putting anybody in jail as long as he wants without a court warrant? So the signs are all there.
They are.
Losing control of our country to the transnationalist, the globalist elite, who also have a transhumanist agenda to dumb us down, to make us into obedient robots, and to kill off anybody who gives them a hard time. We have to wake up, and we have to deal with these issues, or we're all history.
I agree. One final question for you, sir, and I appreciate your time. Do you see any hope in presidential candidates this year as far as Trump or Bernie Sanders, as far as maybe not being a part of this and actually being on the outside, or do you think that that system is just lost at this point?
I think the system is lost at this point. Bernie Sanders appears to be more compassionate than the others, but he is certainly not addressing any of the issues I mentioned. Daniel Kucinich was actually going to fight chemtrails, but then all of a sudden he had a change of mind. People think he may have been visited, because people get suicided all the time in this and other related fields. I don't feel that the politicians at the top will change anything. I think it's incumbent upon the masses of humanity to save their lives and the lives of their children by becoming, number one, knowledgeable about these issues, and number two, sharing all these issues with everybody around them, and number three, considering nonviolent resistance, because they cannot do this without our consent. We have to take back our government, we have to take back our country, we have to take back our planet.
I completely agree. The democracy is still in place unless we let them ruin it entirely. So, folks, get out there and vote. And thank you, sir, so much for your time. One more time, the website that they can learn more from you.
They can visit LosAngelesSkywatch.org and just Google chemtrails, CHEMTRAILS. You'll find some government or military disinformation, but the vast majority are people who are very sincere and very knowledgeable about this, who will tell you the truth about what's going on. Also, go see what in the world are they spraying and why in the world they are spraying by the great activist Michael Murphy, who has been spearheading a lot of the resistance to chemtrails, and he deserves a lot of credit and support.
And you do too, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So